It is just gorgeous here on Crescent Beach, and the sand goes on for miles and miles. When the tide is low, you can look off and see rolls of seaweed in the distance. In fact, seaweed has been used in Chinese medicine since 300 BC, and you can still see it piled up high in herbal shops. So let's take a trip to Chinatown and see what else they have in store for us. Elfina Luck meets up with Dr. Maryam Mahanian to tell us how different herbs can help you out.
Living Well is brought to you by Medicine Center, your pharmacy, your neighbor.
Is the seahorse considered a herb? I don't know if I would put this in my mouth. The Chinese sure have some interesting health practices, and today I'm going to check out one of the oldest ones. Hi, Maryam.
Hi, Elfina.
So is this seahorse actually meant to be eaten?
Not eaten, but you would steep it in hot water and drink the juice.
The juice of a seahorse. Not exactly my cup of tea.
Well, there are actually many alternatives to that, and I can show you some.
Great.
For example, we have an herb here. It's called sangarzi, or cockleburr fruit. And this is a natural antihistamine and decongestant. So very good for allergies and common cold and flus. And this is, believe it or not, silkworm. And this is actually for eczema and psoriasis, for the itching that's involved. Then there's also the skin of cicada.
It's just the skin, so it's not so bad.
Yeah, it could be worse.
Okay.
And the function of that is actually very similar to the silkworm. It's for eczema and psoriasis, for the itching. This is hushou, or fleece flower root. And this is actually for hair loss and premature graying of hair. You wouldn't just sort of take an individual herb by itself. You have to actually make a Chinese herbal formula.
Okay.
So formula meaning there are many herbs combined together and they work synergistically together. And this one I've put together for PMS.
Okay.
This one is dangui, or angelica root, and that's helpful for cramps. For bloating, there's frankincense. Also, there's muli, or oyster shell, and that's beneficial for anxiety and for restlessness.
Is there anything here for mood swings?
Yes, there's chai hu, or bupleurum. So that's for the irritability, depression, crying easily.
Okay. Good.
Then the second formula I put together, I actually put it together for infertility because that's a very common thing that I treat in my practice. There's this sour jujube fruit that's for tubal obstruction, the obstruction in the fallopian tubes. Then a very interesting one is tusudza, or Chinese daughter seeds, because it promotes ovulation.
So now that I've gotten all these herbs, what would I do with it?
So basically you mix it all together, you throw it in the pot, you add water, just enough to cover the herbs, and then you add 2 more cups of water, and you let that boil for about 30 minutes. I put it together in this little cup here.
It's definitely the Buckleys of Chinese medicine.
There is an alternative to all of this work.
Okay.
So in my practice, I actually use the concentrated powdered extract. So this is the powder there. And this is basically a decoction that they've already made, but they've made it into a powder. So it's very concentrated. And so you just mix that with hot boiled water and you make an instant herbal tea. But you can see that probably it tastes a bit different.
It's more subtle, it's easier to swallow, and it's definitely less labor intensive to make. It sounds like there's a herb to treat anything.
Pretty much. There's actually hundreds of different herbs in a typical Chinese herbal shop, and the ailments can range from colds and flus to allergies to digestive problems, pain, memory, concentration.
Well, that was a great lesson. Thank you very much. So if you want to satisfy your curiosity, don't be afraid to walk into a shop just like this and ask about all the different ingredients, and your kids will find it both educational and fun. Thank you, Maryam.
You're welcome.
Brave enough to try a custom concoction? Sunny Day Herbal Store is located on Main Street near Hastings. Steep your way over to our website at cbc.ca/livingvancouver for details.
Living Well is brought to you by Medicine Center, your pharmacy, your neighbor.